If you have never worked with the camera editor in iRacing, please see my Introduction to Custom Cameras tutorial in my iRacing Custom Camera tutorial playlist. It covers a lot of the basics that I will not cover with each individual tutorial. It'll save a lot of time and questions being asked. Thank you very much. One of my favorite camera creations, and one that recently I've been questioned about, is what I call the drone, the chase camera that looks like a drone. You know, I started doing this about a year ago, long before Nascar actually had a real drone up there chasing the cars. So anyway, this is one of my favorites. Let's get into it. Put a drone flying over the track, following your car. All right, here we are in our replay. And under the camera settings, you can see that I have blimp selected. Then we're going to hit Control-C, bring up the camera edit menu. First thing we're going to do is come over to Group here, the Group tab. Click on that. Now we are going to copy what we have here. Note that Cam Blimp is the camera that is in the blimp group. Click Copy. Click Create. You see new one there. Just ignore that for now, and now we're going to paste. You see Blimp with a 0 behind it as the group name, and you see Cam Blimp with a 0 down here in the active camera. We have just duplicated the blimp camera. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to back this off, rename it Drone, hit enter. Okay, if we come back down to our camera selection here, we have blimp, new one, and drone. They're all the same right now. I'm not sure why this is the case, but new one here, select it. It's up here in the group edit, under the group tab. Delete that. So we have our blimp, our standard blimp. Now we're going to select our drone. Any changes that we make here over in the camera edit menu will stick with the drone, will not affect the original blimp parameters in the blimp group. Okay, so let's get this party started. Sorry I said that. Okay, every track is different, you know, because they're different sizes and everything. One of the things that I do at the very beginning, at the very beginning here, we'll back that up. I like to go to at car. That just kind of puts a little bit more of a direct focus on the car, the center of the car. So by default, blimp is at group. I like to go at car, and you can kind of see just a little shift there. I'll do that one more time. At group, it shifted. At car, kind of shifted back. Okay, so like I said, every track is different size and everything. So a good place to start with this is put everything that is highlighted, which is the top row of 3, which we can change in the axes to 0. Okay, now the first thing right off the bat, Z is your altitude, your height, and we're way low. So let's just bring that up for a little bit here. By the way, my static field of view is at 10. You can go zoom if you want, which the camera will zoom in and out of your car. I have found static works better with the drone here. Start at about 10 and you can work from there. Okay, so back at the Z axis, gonna come up a little bit here, get it to where we're not behind buildings and everything. Now it's just a matter of trial and error. Let me go ahead and pause this. Okay, so the offset is kind of, I'll hit that to the left, and you see I'm actually going to the right. I'll hit the one to the right, and we're going to actually go to the left. The y-axis, hit it to the left, and it's pulling back. Hit the right arrow, and it's pulling forward. That's actually the opposite of what the X and the Y normally do. Why is that? It's because we're looking out the side of the blimp currently, okay? And If you're looking out the back side of the blimp, these are reversed. If you're looking out the side of the blimp, these are reversed. So just a little trial and error to figure out what you want to do. So you can set this at certain distances and see how they work. You can do it during the action, but it actually works better, I found, when you're on pause. It's a lot of trial and error. Then the other thing, that the other two settings are blimp radius and blimp velocity. And again, the radius, okay, you see how far we came out? And now we'll go back in. And blimp velocity is the speed at which the blimp completes a circuit around the radius. Okay, so it's a lot of trial and error. I took a picture of my settings. Let me get them, and I'm just going to manually input those, and we will see the end result. Hello. So my offset X is minus 4797. Minus 47.97. My y-axis is minus 12.29. And my z-axis was minus 1.24, 241. Okay. My static field of view. Oh, I did have that on zoom. My mistake. Okay. Zoom. And that was at 13.66. Blah, 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 blah. Near plane bias, you want to have that at 1. Mic gain was 31.92. That's pretty close to 35. And then my blimp radius was 20. And my blimp velocity was 20. Okay. Kind of looks like a drone. It's leading, and then it'll kind of fall back, pan as the car sweeps by, kind of falls in behind it, follows it down the straight, loses a little speed to the car, then it kind of catches up. Now, the one thing that I found is you don't ever want the drone to really be above the car, because then it'll do that little flip thing as it tries to figure out which way you're going. I've also found that if you go outside the track confines and then back in, that can get a little messy. But if you can make it work, it does look kind of cool also. You also want to kind of make sure you don't fly into light poles or behind buildings or anything like that. So let me go ahead and hit pause here again real quick so I don't have to talk so loud. You can kind of maybe write these numbers down if you want. This is a half-mile track. They're probably a pretty good base set of numberings, if you will, for smaller tracks, and then you can build on that. Well, that's the quick and dirty on how to get a drone at the racetrack. Well, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope somebody can take something with this and have a whole lot of fun with it. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you next time.